Even though we know that Cornwall's quite famous for its sandy beaches and rugged coasts, I didn't come here for that. I didn't come here for the surfing. And I didn't even come here for the pubs. I came here for something else, and I'm pretty sure you can guess what it is. Yeah, you got it. I'm here for the hiking and the landscape. So welcome to the Port William to Tintagel coastal hike. So the Tintagel loop starts with some big steps out of the valley, and it's very rough and rugged, but I love it. I love this. And we're basically going to have all the pub that we actually had a drink in last night. That was really nice. Port William, if you come down to Tintagel, it's your only pub because you don't have a lot of options down here. But the valley is really, really rugged and beautiful. So let's go. We've got about 8 kilometers of this, so fun. Yep, I know it's windy and I'm wearing shorts, but you know what? That's just how I roll when I'm hiking. Had a really good chat with a local, and he talked about how this area was all, like the Cornish coast, North Cornwall, was really mined for the slate in the area, and he showed us like some of the rocks and how the miners would get lowered down and that they would work down in these massive crevices down on the edge of the coast. And it's quite fascinating to now walk here understanding that this was all mined. So it's a really cool, really good experience. I love chatting to the locals and finding out a little bit about the history. So it's really cool. I'm happy. It seems crazy to think that people were just lowered down on ropes to mine the edges of these cliffs.
Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route.
We're almost at our turnaround point, and as you can see in the distance here, you've got Gallows statue is all the way out on that pinnacle of rock, and you have the Tintagel Castle bridge that you can see in the shot here that joins these two areas. You do have to pay an entrance fee with the National Trust to get in to see the Gallows statue and walk around this peninsula. But right now we found the perfect place to stop and have a coffee and something to eat, because we definitely need to refuel our tank. Let's go get ourselves some breakfast.
Could I be Merlin?
We can get you a Cornish cream tea. Morning.
Morning.
Oh, lovely. The area you see below me right now is Merlin's cave, and that bit you do not have to pay National Trust entrance fees. Okay, so I've soaked in some epic views, and look at the spring in my step. Now I don't know if it's the cappuccino, but I can tell you now I'm very excited about terrain variation, because I live in a fairly flat part of the world, so these Cornish hilly coasts I am absolutely in love with. You can see I'm now coming up to a fork in the path, and if you took the left route that would just take you along the coastal route even further, but we need to loop around. So what I'm going to do here is take the right route, go up those steps, up the hill and towards Camelot Castle Hotel. So we've now completed the loop almost. We're about 5.5k in. We've done the full coastal walk from Port William all the way up to Tintagel, and we've had something to eat, we feel energised, and we're ready for the trek back. But I'm a bit fearful that Morton has taken us the wrong way. Morton, that gate clearly says to the church, and you walk past
right.
it.
What I'm thinking, maybe we can go this way as well. We don't need to go to the church, we need to go that way. Let's ask a local.
Let's ask. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. What way are we going now, Morton? Are we going the way you wanted to go, or are we going the way that said to the church?
We are going the way that said to the church.
Yeah, damn straight.
Which is definitely not the way you wanted to go.
It's exactly the way I wanted to go.
That way.
Yes, and that's where he said that the way to go. So for those that need to know, this is Tintagel town, right here, and then just out there on that little peninsula bit there is the Camelot Castle Hotel, I think it's what it was called. And then we're just heading out to the church that's up there. And just down in the cove you've got the King Arthur rock and all the English heritage site. But just note that if you're here with a camper van, and I don't know if it's just because it's off season, but way over in the backside of Tintagel there's a little car park, and it's only £3 for all day parking and £5 for overnight parking, which is an absolute bargain, and you're in a really good spot with coastal views. So one to note there. But now we're headed back to Port William and we're going to pick up the van. It's pretty hard to read some of these groves, but this one is the oldest I've found. It was 1793. Wow, 1793. When we left Port William, the tide was all the way in, right up to the rocks at the bottom of that cliff. But when we came back, the tide had gone out so much that we were really surprised how much sand was exposed. And we basically couldn't resist but to finish our hike off with a little trip to the beach and a soak in some of these rock pools. Here is a detailed geographical recap of the route that comes from my Suntoe watch that I use on the hike. So if you're interested, this is exactly what it looked like. Thanks ever so much for watching this video, and if you're wondering where all this music was sourced from, it comes from Epidemic Sound, and if you want a 7-day free trial, there's a link in the description. Go grab it.